Good afternoon, I'm Jake Brigstock. On the way, the show-stopping dance performance that's taken over a Nottinghamshire landmark.
If I could have chosen the best spot for it to be in Nottingham, this would have been it. And we just wanted to be really central. We wanted people to know that this work is created in Nottingham by artists from Nottingham.
And the life-changing charity helping Notts kids with serious mobility and communication issues talk and even take their first steps.
You can see a child evolve from lying on the floor, unable to even support their head, to sitting and standing, and sometimes, they're even taking their first steps.
First though, police are asking for your help after a disturbance between several men left one man with serious injuries. They're asking you if you recognise this man, who they want to speak to in relation with the incident. Police went to Stony Street at around 1:30 in the morning on Saturday the 27th of October. Although a man was left with serious injuries, they are not thought to be life-threatening. People have been describing what happened inside Nottingham's Rock City venue on Friday night when someone let off what's believed to have been a smoke flare. Around 2,000 people had to be evacuated from the building when the device was let off during a performance by the rapper Lil Pump. No one was seriously hurt, and Rock City management say they're working closely with police to investigate what happened.
It was just a real sting in the throat, and your eyes were watering. You couldn't really open them. It hurt to open your eyes. People were saying they saw people throw things. People were saying they saw smoke. But all we really knew is that we could feel whatever it was really strongly, and we just needed to get out. I mean, I personally, I don't know. I just thought, is it acid? What is it? But yeah, you could definitely feel something, and we knew we needed to get out. It was quite manic. There was cars obviously still in the road, and people climbing on top of cars. People throwing up on the floor. But he came out with a little Bluetooth speaker in his hand, and he finished the show on top of his bus.
Now, the hours when you can visit your loved ones at Nottingham hospitals has been extended. Visiting hours now stretch from 11 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. every day. That's 9.5 hours in total compared to 6 hours a day before the change was made. The hospitals say they've listened to feedback from patients, visitors and carers. And staff add that visits from carers, friends and relatives can help patients recover more quickly. Now, the contemporary dance show that took over the council house. The Tom Dale Company has combined dance, music and media to create I Infinite. The Nottinghamshire-based group have toured the piece around the world, but they're now performing the piece in their own backyard during their UK tour.
I Infinite is a blend of dance, music and digital design. As part of the Nottingham Group's UK tour, they've taken over a part of the council house to perform their unique piece.
The idea really came as simply as looking at the white boxes and the white space itself. So it's a kind of a way of introducing abstract elements based on those basic forms, and then slowly kind of working with the idea of how we break those into concepts of what an infinite object could be within that.
It's not every day this type of performance takes place in one of the city's most iconic buildings, but the City Council are hoping to expand the council house's use.
I think we want to use the council house in a variety of different ways, and this is an experiment to try that. We've also done a lot of work where we're promoting theatre in our libraries, and again with our libraries we're working at doing lots of different sort of artistic sort of presentations. So yeah, we're looking at all spaces and how can we bring them alive and also showcase some of the best quality work we can see in the country.
If I could have chosen the best spot for it to be in Nottingham, this would have been it. And we just wanted to be really central. We wanted people to know that this work is created in Nottingham by artists from Nottingham, and it's toured all over the world. And to be right here in the centre of Nottingham in this beautiful historic building makes sense, and it's visible, and hopefully we're going to sell out.
The artists involved have toured I Infinite around the world, and thanks to Art Council funding, they're able to tour it around the UK.
The Arts Council funding is absolutely crucial to events like this. It's not commercial activity, so that means it's subsidised by the government, but it means that we don't have to then be commercial and pander to the commercial sector's needs. We can be as creative as we want, and we can really push the art form and the collaborations. And that really just enables us to be really creative.
The tour's been receiving rave reviews across the UK, and it's yet another example of Nottingham's creative industry succeeding on a national scale. Jake Mescal for Notts TV.
Next, how an unusual form of teaching run by a charity in Sneinton Dale is helping severely disabled children walk and talk for the very first time. Conductive education is enabling some kids to finally achieve simple tasks most of us take for granted and give them the chance of living normal lives. Katie Fenton has this report.
He was incredibly floppy. You pick up a newborn baby and you expect them to be limp. But this was more than that. He just sort of didn't have any sort of stiffness anywhere in him. He was just like a rag doll.
Xander Beckett was born with a rare genetic disorder that made him unable to walk or talk as any 2-year-old child should. Footprints teaches children like Xander basic motor skills through a rare kind of learning and is the only centre of its kind in the East Midlands.
Often children who are born with these conditions are given a very poor prognosis by the medical professions simply because not enough is known about what's going on in the brain. Conductive education finds ways of bypassing the damage that can have been done. It uses repetition and singing and fun activities to help to stimulate parts of the brains that are otherwise unused. These children are full of potential, and it's tapping into that potential and learning to communicate with them and finding ways for them to communicate so that we can actually help them to reach their full potential. And if you are here for any length of time, so over a 6-month period, for example, you can see a child evolve from lying on the floor, unable to even support their head, to sitting and standing, and sometimes, they're even taking their first steps.
Xander had been coming to Footprints for just 1 month before he decided to show off his new skills.
He just took a step and launched himself onto a sort of soft poof, I think you'd call it, that we have at home, and we sort of moved it away, and he took 2 steps, and we moved it a bit further. By the time he'd finished, within about half an hour, he'd suddenly walked the length of the room. So that was absolutely amazing.
Footprints now wants to see more centres opening across the country to help parents in need and more children like Xander.
Now, there is a brand new episode of Notts on Stage coming your way next week, and this month our theatre expert Danielle Hall has been at Nottingham Playhouse chatting to their chief executive Stephanie Sayre about artistic director Adam Penford's first year at the helm there. Check this out.
When Adam first came in as artistic director and I caught up with him, he said that one of the main things he wanted to do was kind of to get more local talent and local writers on the stage. Do you think in this first year he has done that?
Yeah, he really has. I mean, something like Wonderland, obviously written by Beth Steele, he's local. We did auditions, open auditions for 400 local actors, and quite a few of them are featured in our work. So in Madison George III, which is a great big, West Endy type show that we're doing here, and it's broadcasting around the world. It's got some Nottingham talent in there. So whatever we do, we make sure that Nottingham is in there, always.
Do you think that that's bringing something new to all of the productions as well?
I think it's great for London actors to work with Nottingham talent. I think that helps their careers both ways. I think we need to be relevant to where we are. We're also, these are the names of the future. So people talk about big name actors or whatever, but actually the people that go into the shows now, the ones that you haven't heard of, you would have heard of.
I was going to say, everyone's got to start somewhere, and why not here at the Playhouse? Now, the first half of the season, as Adam mentioned, has kicked off. Well, been announced rather. Are you excited for 2019? The first half, I know you can't say anything more because it might not have been planned or announced yet, but...
No, it's a wonderful season. Skellig is a book that many of us read at school. It's a book that is just beautiful. It's a wonderful story. It's very relevant. We do have a commitment now to producing large-scale work for young people every year, so that'll be great to build on last year's success with Holes. Also, we're making the kind of work that we think will probably tour beyond here. So we're making work here in Nottingham, and we hope that sort of maybe the following year it'll be seen in theatres right the way across the UK.
And the reason that we're out here today is because National Theatre Live are setting up for filming The Madness of George III.
Yeah.
Do you think that could be something that you'd be aiming for again down the line too?
It's really important that what we do here doesn't get lost, you know. So the great thing about Madness of George III being seen in cinemas, it's being seen 2,500 across the world, and it's made in Nottingham. We're very proud of it, and it's very good work. So whatever it is, whether that's live streaming or whether that's recording it or whether that's touring it or whatever it is, you know, whether it's work going into a classroom, it's all getting more out of it. It's all flying the flag for Nottingham.
Time for your sport now. Nottingham Forest were not in action at the weekend due to the international break. The Reds take on third bottom Hull City in their latest championship clash this coming weekend. And in an interview with I Follow Forest, winger Joe Lolly has set himself the target of nailing down a place in the starting 11 this season.
To be honest, I just try and stay in the team and play well. And I think if you're playing well and you're in the team, then I think goals and assists come with that. I don't want to concentrate too much on trying to hit figures or whatnot, because I don't want that to sort of play on your mind. I think if you play well, things naturally come from that. So that's my sort of philosophy on that. I think, you know, that is credit to the manager and the recruitment as well. They've brought in players that are very good professionals, get on with the dressing room, and that's important. We haven't got anyone who, you know, who just down tools in training. Everyone's always training to the best of their ability and putting in everything they have and wanting to be in the squad on Saturday, and if they're not, then they're supporting the lads.
That's all for now. We're back at 5:30. Bye-bye.